And welcome on back. I've made a few changes up here so things are a bit more evenly spaced out and not in the way every time I want to leave the hub. I set up some foundations ahead of time, just left this little strip here to show this here build mode, Zoop. You can also switch to vertical, and it basically lets you do this. And of course vertical goes upwards, and it does it up to 10. So very useful when you want to slap down a whole bunch of things. Then I set up some stuff to be thrown into the sink. We got a good collection of coupons here. And I want to get just one. If you hold right click you can select how much, but for some reason it wasn't doing it for me right there. But whatever. Let's get our one ticket back into the sink.
Fix-It sees what you did there. How creative. I have also been creative. There is something extra special for you in the awesome shop. It is a marvel of technology. It is truly the shape of the future. I will be sad if you do not use it and love it, and tell any friends you make in the future all about it.
Well damn, let's see what this amazing item is. Heh. Yes, you get a Cybertruck if you sink a ticket. But let's buy something that, you know, won't fucking kill us. I'm gonna grab a few things because we're gonna be building a proper building, a proper factory. I hate using the same word twice in the same sentence. So these items you can't get any other way. You have to use tickets to get them, and there's quite a few useful things in here. So even if it's not necessary for progression, you should still sync your stuff and get tickets. And you can get all kinds of things. You can even buy individual parts.
Official Fix-It coffee cup unlocked. Do not purchase unauthorized Fix-It coffee cups. They have been known to explode and attract
Dear God.
wasps. Unauthorized Fix-It coffee cups lower your attractiveness to your preferred gender and/or your sense of well-being if you have no gender attraction or preference. Official Fix-It products can be licensed for your use from official Awesome Shop installations only. Come to the best shop on the planet for the best deals on all official Fix-It supplies, guaranteed.
They added a flushable toilet, but not a functioning coffee machine. Anyways, it's not a good idea to spend tickets on resources because tickets like start to cost more points as it goes on. But it could be useful if you need to like quickly unlock something. And just wanted to show off there that you can add a to-do list for creating stuff, and it'll put that little checklist on the side. Also, this is before I recorded this before it was requested, but in future videos I will ease up on the jump dashing. Now I'm trying to place that elevator down, but this guy's in the way, so come on buddy. Come on, get out of here. Yeah, go on, scat. Alright, let's try that again. Yeah, this is an absolutely massive building. And that bird is still in the way. Alright. Come on, get going. Okay, I tried being nice. You do not get anything for killing the docile wildlife in this. But okay, let's get this for real now. Just want to center this, so thankfully you can press H and it'll put down the blueprint, and then you can use your arrow keys to nudge the blueprint around. Very useful. It's a shame that you can't use it to nudge things up and down, but anyways, here you can also see all the stuff needed to create the thing just floats on off into the blueprint.
Project assembly initialized. Congratulations, Pioneer. The space elevator will now automatically connect with the Project Assembly orbital platform. Project assembly is divided into phases, each of which require the delivery of project parts, such as smart plating, via the space elevator. Subsequent phases unlock access to new tiers with more advanced technologies to construct, automate, explore and exploit. It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program, the largest united undertaking in human history, destined to save us all. Earth is in peril and only Fix-It pioneers offer hope for survival. Fix-It is counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. Do not let Fix-It down.
Well, that's a lot to throw on our shoulders. But before we can actually start making those plates, we gotta finish up this milestone. Let's just stash all this stuff away. And hey, let's also unlock a few more research things.
Parachute unlocked. Fix-It appreciates your willingness to descend rapidly to perform your duties, but damaging Fix-It property is a breach of contract and will have unpleasant consequences. Improve descent efficiency by combining the forces of gravity and drag with a parachute.
So I guess that means it's illegal to intentionally throw yourself off a cliff.
Milestone reached. The assembler can produce more complex parts, including the first project part, smart plating, which is crucial for initiating project assembly. Project parts must be delivered to the space elevator. By completing your contracted duties as part of project assembly, you will definitely be helping achieve Fix-It company goals without any other ulterior motive. Note: humans cannot craft project parts. Do not worry about your inadequate crafting skill when compared to an assembler. Fix-It cherishes your innate human abilities, such as walking, striking objects, and commodifying natural resources.
Yep, and as said, we cannot make the parts ourselves. We have to use an assembler for that. So it's time to get to building. What I was doing while Ada was talking, you'll notice on the hotbar in the bottom center has all of our different things that we can build. And if you hold Alt and move your mouse wheel, it cycles between 1 to, I believe, 10. And yeah, so this is like my hotbar setup for making buildings, pretty much. And with these conveyor walls, we can put conveyor belts through walls. Unsurprisingly, those are very useful. And we are out of rotors, which is something we haven't had unlocked yet, but unlocked now. And those require screws and rods. Yeah, screws are a persistent blight in this. I believe I just wanted to show off what the costs were in making those. So we're gonna expand our little flooring here just a bit. Don't worry about that ever so slight clipping with the terrain. That is another problem for me in making things in this game, is that there is always some slightly higher elevation nearby. That said, I still won't go build floating foundations in the sky. And as I have shown off there, we can construct power shards out of the power slugs. Blue makes 1, yellow makes 2. Spoilers, red makes 3.
Overclocking development completed. Power shards can now be inserted into all buildings to increase input and output speed. Underclocking is also possible. Note: power consumption of overclocked building.
So I did skip Ada there, and I kind of panicked. But that was pretty much the end of her sentence. If you overclock a building, it costs way more power than it would be to like if you double the output of a building, it costs more than if you just built two separate of that building power-wise. And as I shown off there, you can also underclock things. Oh my god. You can also underclock things. And of course it reduces power, and since the cement can only take in so many of the limestone, I underclocked the miner to save up on some power. Which is, you know, more important here in the earlier stages, especially since I'm still running on biomass. But now, I'm still kind of testing out what to do here. Just partly why this video is so long. But later on, I get better about like pre-building the building and then deleting things and then recreating it for recording. Now, next up, we want to get power into the building. And while I wait for some things to come in, let's do a little more research.
Research completed. Alien protein can now be turned into biomass or alien DNA capsules. In addition to being used for research, the invaluable alien lifeform data in these capsules can be traded for Fix-It coupons at the Awesome Sink. We guarantee the best capsule to coupon exchange rate anywhere on this planet. Research to develop the rebar gun is now available. When completed, you will be in possession of a tool effective against any local obstacles actively objecting to the Fix-It mission.
We can also sync the DNA, and it's way more like cost effective. Like the cost doesn't increase as harshly as it does for regular points. Like I recall getting a few tickets worth of alien DNA didn't even increase the cost at all. And then off screen I also unlocked, or maybe I did it on screen. Anyways, I got these here wall outlets, and whoops, little mistake on my part. I need to build a double wall outlet. There we go. And that's how you can get power from the outside inside your buildings without having to have a hole in the wall. Now we'll just need to go ahead and build the other side here. And as for why I had that assembler back at that other area, that was me more testing of like the spacing of what's going on there. But here, we're going to go ahead and put a proper assembler that links directly into the space elevator. As you can see here, we need to make 2 reinforced plates and 2 rotors per minute. And that makes two smart plates per minute. Build up the rest of the building here while that goes on. Of course, I still need to actually get power to that assembler, but we'll worry about that here in a minute. First off, let's get an actual roof here. Most of my earlier games, either my factories did not have a roof, or they did not have a roof and they also did not have any walls. Sometimes they didn't even have foundations. I just built stuff along the ground. And fun little fact, with the wall outlets, you can put them on the bottom of a foundation, and it'll be like a little hanging outlet. It is unfortunate though that like connecting wire, you can't like point a wire to the underside of a foundation and have it do an outlet like you can do with like building a pole. But oh well. Now we just need to get 50 reinforced plates and 50 rotors. Oh hey, what are these guys doing? And that'll let us complete phase 1. But yeah, I finished up the rest of the building off screen, well, mostly. To expand my foundation spacing, I just decided to go with building a higher foundation to hide the clipping from the nearby terrain. Now let's go ahead and use these wall conveyor belts. And just to show here, it's 120 per minute off these nodes. I believe all these nodes are pure. So I'll be needing the Mark II belts. But the problem with that is that it requires reinforced plates, which I need for a lot of other things. For example, this milestone.
Milestone reached. Fixit would like to remind you of your contractual obligation towards efficiency. Recreational use of belts and lifts does not count towards work hours and will put you on the list. Stay efficient, don't disappoint Fixit.
But hey, Mark II belts now double what a Mark I belt can do. So now we can actually take advantage of our miners fully. And what I plan on doing is belting all of the ore into this building, and then have it go down into those smelters right there. And since we can only do 120, we'll need to, of course, separate out our belts. Oh god, it's not perfectly straight. Oh well. So each smelter can take in only 30 ore per minute, so each mining rig right now will need 4 smelters to smelt it all in place. And that's kind of the opportunity cost with using power shards. I could double up how much our smelters can make, and then I'll only need 2 smelters each. But those 2 will cost way more than what just 4 will provide, or what 4 will cost power-wise. And I should also explain, like loading on like the way I'm doing it now. There's, as far as I know, there's 2 different ways I've seen people do loading for your materials, for loading your buildings. So I think the way I'm doing it's called like manifold loading, and then there's balanced loading. So pretty much the way I'm doing things now is, because every time an item passes through a splitter, it'll just split between however many belts is attached to it. So the first item through will go left, the third item goes left, 5th item, and so on. And because of that, this very last smelter will take quite a while before it starts to catch up to this first smelter, because the first smelter is getting half of everything that comes through. Now a balanced system would have been, you'd put a splitter at the start, and then in this case doing 4 smelters, it would split left and right, and then those themselves would go into another splitter, which then goes into their smelters. In that case, when the first one goes in, it goes left, The second one will go right, third one goes left, fourth one goes right. This means the fourth item goes into the fourth smelter, whereas in the system I'm doing now, it's something like, I don't know, the seventh item will probably reach the last smelter in line. So the bonus to that one is that it gets everything starting like at a similar rate, whereas with the system I have now, eventually as the first smelter starts to get full, instead of every second item, or yeah, every second I'm going into the first smelter, it'll just skip past it into the second smelter. But then same thing, the second smelter will be getting every other ore. And so on and so forth until all of them get full to the last one. And I'm fine with that. It just means I run one long line and it just takes some time for them to all get going, compared to having to do a balance system, which is going to be way more floor space intensive. Well, now we got that going, I'm going to run the ingots all the way over to here. And all the way to this last one right over here. So what I want to do with these ingots right now is pretty much what I have going on outside. One constructor to make rods, one for screws, one for plates. My plan will be to move everything outside inside. Now of course I'm not fully using all 120 ingots right now, but since we're still on biomass, that's fine, because then they'll turn off once they get full, so I won't need as much power.
Research completed. Quartz crystal recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
Now with quartz, which I've found on some random nodes nearby, not a dedicated mining node, just the ones you can break. Researched a few things. This research allows us to create signs, which will be useful a little bit later on once I find a more accessible quartz node. You can also make windows too, at least once we get steel researched. Well, not for those ones at least. But what I'm actually here for is I need some new foundations. Takes me a second to find the one I want. I want that one with the corner extension. And now I can do this. Oh, showing off the vertical build there. But hey, hole in the floor, now I can climb on up to the second floor. That'll be very nice once I start building up there. And I just wanted to show off the power usage, and ooh, we're getting pretty close. Ideally, you'll want the consumption to be under your production. I mean, your max consumption could go over that. You just need to make sure that your active consumption doesn't hit that. And I've set up kind of like what I got on the iron side. I now got copper going as well. And I'm going to have my copper sheets, wires, and cables get made here. I also turned off a few of the machines though, just because, again, we're on biomass, we want that to last. I wasn't sure what I was thinking there. Alright, now we got all those connected. While I wait for some things to build up, let's just knock out this final milestone.
Milestone reached. The Fix-It jump pad combines high technology and innovation for optimized factory traversal and an ideal travel experience. Clarification. Ideal travel experience not guaranteed, individual results may vary. Pioneers are responsible for all workplace accidents resulting from jump pad usage.
Alright, as I shown off there, all my copper stuff was deconstructed and brought inside. As for that milestone we just unlocked, honestly, I don't really use those that much. There's better ways to get yourself launched around. But hey, with all those tickets I just got, time to buy some more stuff. And this is what I was waiting for, getting the foundation hole for our belts. Now, I don't believe there is a simple way to like align these as you do with most other things. So it's just kind of trial and error. And what I'm messing up, oh god damn it. What I'm messing up here is that you can set your conveyor belt to be reversed or not in the same way you change constructing to like be looped. It just takes me a second to realize that the arrow is pointing outward, not inward. Wait, did I just... There we go. And if I built the conveyor hole a little closer, it would have been able to link in there without having to use a belt, but don't need to be that perfect. Yeah, ladder climbing, not too great. I guess I should have built the ladder just a touch higher. But hey, now we're gonna go ahead and move all of those sheets up here. But before we continue that, we got all 50 of our smart plates in.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 1 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 1 will be completed and the distribution platform will be constructed. After completion of Phase 1, the technologies of Tiers 3 and 4 will become available in the hub. Highlights are automated power, steel production, personnel transportation, and many more. Completing Phase 2 of Project Assembly is your next main objective. New project parts will need to be produced and delivered to the space elevator as you have done previously. Continue to construct, automate, explore and exploit for a better Fix-It future.
Alright, here we go.
Phase 1 of Project Assembly completed. This is only the beginning of Project Assembly, the first step towards saving the day. You have performed adequately so far. Reminder: not only is Fix-It saving humanity, it is saving all of Earth, including kittens and puppies. It is statistically likely that you appreciate the continued existence of kittens and/or puppies. Continue the work for their sake. Continue the work for Fix-It. It is time to start the work on Phase 2 of Project Assembly.
Hell yeah, that's some motivation for the cats. Now with Phase 2 comes a very important milestone. Yeah, baby. Coal power. Just gonna need to get a few more things researched or built. But while we're waiting on that, time to start doing work up here to finish the rest of this here building. I'm gonna have everything get brought up and then stored on the second floor here. So there we go. Got all of those copper sheets coming on in. And then likewise, on the other side, I'll do the same for all the iron stuff. For now, though... Oh, that's right, I threw all of my iron plates into the milestone. Let's go ahead and collect some more, and there we go. So to use up the rest of our iron ore, I'm going to build up a few wires. 2 of them will be putting stuff upstairs. The other 2 wires will be used to make cable. So let's just do this song and dance here. Once again, ran out of iron plates. Regular iron plates too. That never happens. Trying to get the conveyor whole, but struggling with that. Side note, whenever you're connecting things, like what I just did now with that lift, it makes a little sound effect when it's able to be connected directly into whatever input or output you're pointing it towards. Very useful to keep an ear out for that. And no, I'm not sure why I put a splitter on this very last one instead of directly connecting the belt. Guess I'm just eccentric like that. And part of me wants to say that I readjusted one of the copper sheets to produce more copper wire. So I want to have enough copper wire coming in for 2 cable constructors. Hey, so I noticed this in post. I don't need that second constructor making cable because copper wire can only be made in batches of 30 and I need 60 for cable, so I get rid of it. Ooh boy, right on the edge of my production. So yeah, let's turn off some machines too, just in case. There we are, connecting the wires to the cable machines. Then we'll want to connect those to this here merger. Oh great. Always fun trying to set these up. There we go. Just in the end for me to decide to put it all the way over here. I figure it's better to have the conveyor coming out, you know, the same side where the rest of the stuff is also being buried up. And in the end, none of it mattered because I would later delete one of the cable constructors. And there we go. A nice steady buildup of all of our cables, wires, and copper sheets, all in one central location.
Milestone reached. Power production can now be fully automated by burning coal, which has been added to the resource scanner. Water is also necessary to run the coal-powered generator and will require a network of pipelines to be transported from a water source. To assist with locating and identifying water, Fixit has compiled this guide. Water is a somewhat reflective liquid and it may have thick vegetation growing nearby. To test if something is water, try touching it. If it is not solid and does not corrode your suit, it is probably water.
Now, if it rusts your suit, it's probably most likely water. But yeah, here I've gone on ahead and removed all the iron building stuff outside and started bringing the iron ores into here. And since we can only have 120 on a belt, we just separate out the belts. And I have one thing feeding the furthest, and then I got one feeding the closest. And rejiggered some stuff here, so this is how the system is looking for building the basic materials. And then I've plopped down 2 assemblers that are going to be used to make the rotors and... Actually, it looks like I put down 4 for reinforced plates and rotors, and then I have 2 assemblers here to build more smart platings. At least that is the theory. And just showing here, the reinforced plates makes 5, but we only need 4 a minute for the smart plates. So I downclocked or underclocked the reinforced plates. Okay, yeah. So I have 2 assemblers to feed for the smart plates, and then 2 assemblers that will go up here for my own personal stock. And then there's the 3 over there is for the rod screws and non-reinforced plates. And I don't think I've actually mentioned it, but as we saw there, you saw all those screws, right? And you think, oh, that's a little box of screws. That's just one screw, actually. Oh, hey, here's the coal. Pretty far off from our location, too, which is going to be a slight issue. Especially because there's a particular reason I don't want to go for the one closest to me with the 4 nodes, even though that's obviously a very good spot for some power. But we'll deal with that a little bit later. But yes, screws. So when a machine makes 20 screws, that's 20 individual boxes being used up on your plate. So not only is the production output a lot, but a lot of different things will need stuff like, say, 50 screws a minute, which is almost a Mark 1 belt in itself of just screws. Now I'm actually cutting a bit ahead here. I do some more work with the factory, but I decided to shift it over to the end because Otherwise, the video would have ended with this segment, which I think wouldn't have been all that satisfactory. But yes, before going on the grand adventure for coal, there's some stuff in the quartz line I want to get, and there happens to be some quartz up north. So let's go exploring. And I wanted to check a few things before taking off, but pretty much everything in tier 4 will need steel. I won't be making this video, but it's good to put it as my little reminder. Now let's go exploring, and make sure you always bring a whole bunch of concrete, wire, and cable so you can run power to wherever you're going. And don't think I've shown off that little feature of the map where we can put down markers, which is a much better system than what they had going on previously. If you wanted to get markers, I believe first off, the map was locked in the quartz research tree in the MAM. Now you just need to unlock the MAM, and you'll unlock the map as well. And then back in the day, you had to make beacons, an actual item that you had to carry in your inventory and equip in your hand and place down into the ground to be able to leave markers on the map. Not only that, but then those beacons also had to be used to make your ammo, which was also tedious. And I am just leaving this in just, you know, we can get a nice look of the surrounding area. It's one thing to be in an area as I'm building stuff, but, you know, there's so many spots I'll probably just walk past, so this will let me kind of show off the terrain. Of course, with this steep drop here, I'm always paranoid about standing near edges. You never know when a hog is gonna pop up behind you and just knock you right off the edge. But there is one quartz node right over that little, I guess it's a mesa. Oh, hello. That is a flying manta ray. I don't believe you can kill it. It's just part of the set dressing. So there's two nodes, one there, and oh, there's the other one. Now, as to how do we get down there? Well, we can always nerd pole. Just build a ladder right up here so we can get back up. And then the game seems to be a little picky on the distance. We can build a foundation further than we can build a ladder. My original plan here was to use zoot mode and just build a big old ramp, but that's ugly and it's like it'll just take way too much space. And now the fun part, trying to get the ladder to be where I want it to be. But this will work. And then I don't even use the ladder. Oh god. That was close. There we go. Quartz being automatically made. I do come back a little later and throw down a storage container and let all the quartz be thrown into the storage. If I wasn't on biomass power right now, I would also do a thing where, little pro tip here. Well, first off, look at all those slugs in the distance. Just look at them all. Jeez. But yeah, a little pro tip. You can build the miner a constructor to make, what was it, like crushed gems or something like that. That's not the actual name. But it's basically like a little box of crushed quartz. And then you can funnel that all into the sink because they're pretty decent points early game. And then I get it in my head, hey, why not go ahead and take a fight with that thing over there in the distance? They're called spitters. But you know, being this close to the edge, I quickly reconsider. Also, I'm paranoid about a certain something, especially since it's currently nighttime. And with as far as this miner is from the home base, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm not going to bother running like a long-ass conveyor belt. I'll just come periodically and pick up what I need. Alright, time to head on back home. Because that quartz will let us make a very valuable item. That's right, silica.
Research completed. Silica recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
Okay, but no, seriously. Thankfully, with the modular frames that I found at that crash site, I mean, I guess I can make some modular frames myself now, but kind of lets me bootstrap myself up to getting those runners in real early. Oh, looks like I crafted them anyways. Maybe I just forgot I had those modular frames from the crash site.
Blade runners unlocked. Equipped to run faster, jump with greater force, and decrease fall damage that might otherwise have lowered your value to fix it.
God, I'm imagining like your health bar, but to fix it, it's your value bar. Alright, here we go. Blade runners. You run a lot faster and jump farther. And you can also see that you actually have them on your legs too. Apologize for the people who asked me to stop jump sliding. But yeah, this is what we really want before we really start doing exploring. Another little side effect, or perk to these, is that if you have full health, you'll survive any fall. As long as you have full health. You'll survive with just a very tiny sliver of health left. Yeah, so for the rest of this video, it's now going to be me showing off the rest of this little assembly system I've got going on here. And the first thing I learned, oh my god, there is not enough space. Yeah. Again, in later videos, I will pre-build the factory before I start recording. Now to make both the the rotors and the bolted plates or reinforced plates, we need pretty much all of the iron materials, screws, rods, and regular plates. So it's a good thing, I guess, that we have 4 pure iron nodes nearby. Now the real fun part is being able to try and belt all these materials in such a tight space. Since both of these will need screws, we'll just go ahead and do that one first. And then, thankfully, each one only needs one of the other constructors to directly connect to it. So we're going to do some awful spaghetti here. This is just me making sure I'm connecting the correct thing to the correct constructor. And this is where the connect, point at a building to connect to a thing kind of goes against me. Because every time I'm trying to build something on top of the splitter, it keeps trying to connect it into the splitter instead. I wish there was a way to disable that function. But yeah, there we go. Just make it work. There. It's functional. Now we just need to route all the ingots into here. Didn't realize we had this closer power line. I apparently don't even know what I'm disconnecting. Yeah, this is me trying to figure out what I just disconnected, and it's the assemblers. Alright, so those are now all connected. Just need to get the ingots over here. And I'm still just using one other miner's worth of ingots. This is me realizing I connected the wrong miners. Or actually, no, that's right. This was intentional. So I want to show off this. Once again, we can only do 120. That's a hard cap with the belt that we got. So I'm going to set up these belts to go over the other belts. Hey, did you know you can connect the splitters and mergers directly into the conveyors? And it looks horrible. Well, here you go. But hey, it works. And it works so well that I'll just have to go ahead and throw a splitter onto this thing, just so we can make a sharp enough of a turn to connect to the next one over. And these conveyor pulls, I love them. Just to be able to do that. You know, for a while, I believe these were in before, like, actual ladders were. And so, like, the only way you would be able to build a ladder was to just throw these up and constantly stack them. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it was. Alright, here they all come. Choo-choo. And don't worry, I'll later fix up the belt to do a Mark II belt. Later.